Hey guys, welcome back for another Shoutcast. Speed it up right away. Another game on Richland. This time I won't be using the show player view. We'll see all the players and all the map this time. Maybe give you a better idea of how this map is played. A lot of the players are the same. Teams are mostly the same as well. We see we have Romek here again, Blood here again, Destah, I believe Nachtmahr was playing last time. But we see some others, David, this other player, Haku, not sure how to say the name, I've never seen him before this game, but I believe he'll do pretty good. But we'll see how he does. Right now I'm looking at Defender, no, David right now. Yes, David right now. He's playing location 1, I believe is the number of this location. As I said before, the iron very far away, so it's almost a leather loke. Won't go too much into detail of the map itself because, well, we've already covered the map several times. Sato did it in his Shoutcast. The leather location we have, who's playing here, Defender. Not very familiar with this player, so how he does could be anything, I'm not sure. But here's Nachtmahr. Very strong player, very good. Maybe the best in RA, if not, if he is not the best in RA, then it's going to be on location 8, Destah. Another very strong player. Getting his farm up at 9 minutes, very fast. See if quite a bit faster than Bludmaster, who may be one of the best in the entire game right now. Playing on the other power location. Very good matchup, Bludmaster against Destah. Normally you put the best players or the worst players or just any two players that are more or less equal on these two corner locations because they are the most powerful. For example, if you put a very weak player on one team's power loke and a very strong player on the other team's power loke, of course it's gonna run into some balancing issues and you'll have to address that in some other way. Matt playing over here, location 7 I believe, not sure. I'm not very familiar with the numbers just yet on this map. Really love watching this guy play. The most interesting guy to play. He is, can do anything really. He can do crazy strategies. He can build 8 vineyards and still have a normal army. He can go knights only and do it crazy good. There's really nothing this guy can't do. Not an amazing player, but no matter what he does, it's going to be good. And this unpredictability is part of what makes this guy such a good player. And here's this player, Haku, whatever, Haiku, playing location 6, I'm going to say. Again, I'm not sure. Not a whole lot going on here. Still no gold smelters, so maybe this guy's not as great as I expected him to be. Only 1 farm up. 5 quarries already, but you don't need 5 quarries with, well, I don't know. 5 quarries early isn't too bad. But he's gonna definitely be having some gold problems. And the last location, the Romek. Almost undisputedly best player in the game. Beautiful thing about the way Romek plays is he has a very nicely laid out base. And I see these farms look very nice. They're very well organized. Cities like this will run better in the long game, to the best of my knowledge anyhow. It takes a little bit longer to build when you build all organized like this, but hey, it makes a nice looking town, right? And then you compare that to Bludmaster and everything over here is, whoa, very crazy. But you build much faster this way. An iron mine at 21 minutes is a pretty good time. If he gets this iron smelter up really fast, then everything will be in good order. Having your iron weapons being made before the 30-minute mark is very good. Especially if you can get swords being made at 30 minutes. You're going to have a good possibility for 40 swordsmen. It's very good. Most players are making extra leather these days. Some even knights are getting popular again, which is very nice to see. So normally you see earlier farms You see here, Bludmaster is doing just that. A quick 3 farms and a later iron mine. So he's going to be looking at probably 40 to 50 bowmen and about 20 sword fighters. Maybe a bit more since this location is so powerful. Let's look at some of these RA players. I'm not very familiar with them. This guy is trying to go for iron very quickly. It's easy to screw up. You try to go fast on iron and ignore leather, you'll probably just end up screwing both of them up, as the location is so large and iron is so far away. Forgive me if my Windows 8 menu over here keeps popping up. I'm not playing in the full screen in the game. My new recording software doesn't allow it. Or at least I couldn't get it to work, so I thought I'd just do window mode. Nachtmahr, very interested in seeing what he is doing. See, not even, well, it's not quite 30 minutes, but his weapons are getting made in soon. He will be starting that. We have 5 Cory, so he's probably got about 25 builders, 22. We see a very interesting fisherman here. The nice thing about this fisherman is he's going to get fish from both spots. I believe, yep, there is fish in this lake. So this fisherman is very efficient. Very good spot for this fisherman. Good choice by Nachtmahr to put it there. Fishermen will work 14 tiles away from their building here. Many people don't know that. They want to put the fishermen very close to the water. It's not necessary. They'll walk very far away to get to the bodies of water. Defender, another location. Very strange farms, lots of wasted space. I see some here. He should put some fields there. I don't know why he doesn't. So much wasted space. It's really quite sad. You know, put some fields there and make your farms much better. We see some wasted space over here. Really not a good setup. Yeah, very sad, very bad waste of space. I'm not expecting anything more than 50 leather armor. If he does, it's going to be very surprising for me, especially if he decides to take an iron mine here. Both later locations have at least 1 iron mine they can take. Sometimes, since you see 4 iron mines, which is not completely necessary to build, but this location, as well as the location Matt is playing on, they have 4 iron mines. And since they're next to the leather location, sometimes you see a leather loc take 2 iron mines. This will enable you to make, of course, more iron. It makes knights more possible, even sword fighters. Otherwise, you see just 1 iron mine, and these guys will make many of pikes. The nice thing about that is no other player needs to worry about making pikes. And since horses are so good on this map, since it's so large, it is nice to have the other locations take iron mine for some pike. Destah. We see, nope, this is an iron smelter. Getting the 3rd iron smelter up relatively quick. It's a good thing. Having 3 iron smelters is important if you want to get 30 swordsmen, which is very good if you can accompany them with about 40 bowmen. At max fighters, you have a perfect army, in my opinion. It doesn't get much better than that. Not sure about these farms. Could probably bring it down tile. They don't need all this extra space. He's probably going to put a farm here after this fisherman is done, but since there's 60 fish in here, it won't be anytime soon. You could probably put some farms up there just because all these fields are so many. This farm in the bottom right is taking mostly fields above his workshop. You could fit another one right here if you wanted to, probably, but really, I think this is maybe just a little bit too much field space here. But this is Destah, and Destah is a better player than me, so I will not critique his farms too much. See our first barrack. Maybe there's more. Probably, yeah, we see a barrack from Matt, who is going, looks just plain old swords and bowmen. These games against RA and IG, they usually are pretty competitive, so Matt's probably trying to go for something more stable. See how this guy's doing, Haku. I am very curious. Turning out to be better than I expected. As good as I initially expected, I suppose, rather. We have 6 woodcutters, 5 quarries, no, 4 quarries now. No quarries. It's nice to put some quarries down here, as having quarries next to your towers is of course nice. It makes your towers much easier to reload. It's almost like a machine gun. You can reload your towers so fast. The enemy needs to assault very fast if they hope to beat you. And this location is very easy and very nice to place towers in. Only 2 iron mines, so this guy has no hope at getting 30 sword fighters by 60 minutes. Not gonna happen. Romek doing a very sound job on this leather location. Everything looking perfect. Add a couple of woodcutters. Doing a very good job managing space though. Very nice. Still plenty of room left for woodcutters. He has not built on coal very much, and he has all of his base. Very good job. Not a lot of space waste. Very well planned city. Kudos to Romek. And mostly now we see our players have their bases up. Did this guy? No, you see he did not do well on iron and not good on leather. See, this is location you really just need to just accept the fact that your iron is going to be late and go heavily on farms. Maybe 5 farms before your first iron mine even. He also, I see people starving, has no food. Really, this quick iron is going to be, really, it's already biting him. He's kicking himself for it, I'm sure. Much like locations 1 and 8 in Final Frontier, even 5 and 4, the corner locations anyhow. Really, you don't want to focus too heavily on iron until later in the game, because if you try to go for iron and leather at the same time on those locations, you're just going to screw them both up. And that's exactly what this player here did. Location 8, a very tricky space. Okay, up here, yes, he is placing another farm. He might still be able to fit another farm here, but I don't think it will fit with tile. I don't know if there's enough tiles. He'll have to pave over some fields, and he'll already be cutting it short as is. But a couple of vineyards. Nice thing about vineyards is they can be crammed into very tight corners. You can put a vineyard almost anywhere, really. Since they only take 9 tiles of wine, not 300 like we see some players doing. But only 9 wine tiles per vineyard. And the vineyard tiles, not sure exactly how far a vineyard works, but it's a good distance. So you can cram them in some pretty tight spots. But Destah having a pretty nice base here. His army's pretty good. He focused more on leather than swords, but this is very popular in RA. I've seen him very common for them to go less swords and more leather. So he has a very strong army. Exactly what he intended to do. He'll probably add some axe fighters to complement the smaller amount of sword fighters he has. Really focusing on the clock right now. Don't want to miss peacetime. Okay. And we see almost 30 sword fighters and 50 bowmen. Pretty close. We'll call it 27 sword fighters, 45 bowmen, 3 axe fighters, a knight for exploring. Very good job by Destah. Look at the leather. Actually, this is how we'll go down. We'll compare locations since all these locations are mirrors of each other. Bludmaster having only 49 bowmen and 19 sword fighters. I think he was going to have 30 sword fighters. I thought I called that earlier, but it seems his second weaponsmithy was late. Bludmaster always makes a second weaponsmithy. I asked him about it one time. He said, you can always catch up on swords, but farms you can never catch back up on, so he makes more farms earlier on and tries to catch up on swords later. It works. We'll go leather locations now. Romek, no iron. 59 leather though. Not the best. I actually expected much more from Romek here. Maybe he'll have a bit more later in the game. Leather looks really shine late game. Once the iron starts running out a bit, and leather locations are much more powerful in those cases. But no iron at all at the moment, and only 59 leather. It's really not that great, actually. So far we see one of the greatest performance from the TeamSpeak players, maybe I'll call them, since RA is on TeamSpeak a little less. Although it's not fair. RA is on TeamSpeak these days. Whatever. Team Romek, we'll call it. Team Romek. The other leather location, almost just as good, really, as Romek's. Really, defender, 50 leather. I'm surprised. I'm making bad calls this game. I should just keep my mouth shut, huh? But then it wouldn't be much of a shoutcast. But either way, about 50 soldiers here. A little short on weapons. Only 8 woodcutters. You need at least 12 on if you want to spam on a leather loc, so that's why. Look at Matty Boy. Alright, just an average game. 25 sword fighters, 30 bowmen. It's can be expected from Matt. Like I said, he's not a great player, but he can be very unpredictable. And though this is a very predictable army from most other players, you really don't know Matt's going to do it. He could do anything, really, except maybe lances and scouts. He probably won't try that anytime soon. But maybe he'll do it now since I dared him. And almost an identical amount of iron from Nachtmahr, but leather much better. An extra 20 is going to do big. Once you hit 50 bowmen, players these days are starting to switch over to axe fighters. A good player will save his bowmen from being killed in initial fights. I'll see if I can find it in this game. But what I mean is your melee are going to die in every fight because they're in the front line. You know, it's just like real life. The melee soldiers will be taken down, but the range, they fire from a distance. So if you are able to save your bowmen in fights, you don't need to rebuild any. So 50 bowmen will do you fine. And then you can mass some melee to replenish your fallen sword fighters. More on that later. We see plenty of horses running all around. So one reason horses are very important for your army is to clean up any bowmen. We'll slow it down. One important reason for horses is to clean up any bowmen that are running away. So if your enemy does have horses, you're still going to have to make some bowmen because your bowmen can easily be chased down by knights and even scouts, though not quite as easily. It's very common for location 8 up here to receive pressure from, what were you calling it, 7, 6? I don't know. But Matt's location. Very common indeed. Destah could easily take on Matt here, but the proximity of Haku's soldiers... You know, I think I forgot to look at this guy's army at peacetime, but we can see it here. We have about 24 sword fighters and 40 bowmen. Pretty good performance. I'm sure I forgot. That is a bummer. Indeed. Much too bad. But he does have a pretty nice army. But anyway, as I was saying, if Destah were to attack, it would take some time, or would not take very long at all for these for his allies in the center over here to help him. While Bludmaster is cut off, it is not normally you see this. Normally, location 4 needs to get out much faster. Bloody Boy having a nice army though. He'll be able to clean this up. RA is in a really bad position right now. they need to get a bit more organized. Looks like they're trying to attack Matt. I'm of the opinion it will not be successful. See a scuffle here. Matt's losing many more than killing. And I don't know what he's doing. Man, you out-microed Matt and you give it all away. Don't give up an opportunity out-microing Matt. You're not going to do it very often unless Matt is using knights, but that's another day. Another story for another day. Okay, RA doing a good job. They're getting a better position. Bludmaster is locked away. But all that means is if they push, Bludmaster will be able to flank. Zoom out a little bit. Quite a bit, rather. I hope my frame rate doesn't go down when I zoom out like this. I just don't want to scroll out a lot. People complain about how shaky my videos are. Alright, excuse me. Richland is usually pretty campy for a while, so we'll increase the speed. Normally it's not for a long time before people attack on this map. Really, you see players just trying to get a few kills here and there. Nothing going on. I do want to point out Romek does have many militia. Or not many, but Romek has men up here in the north we need to pay attention to, and Bludmaster over here. Anytime RA pushes, they will be flanked, it appears. But RA is not normally aggressive. Although I don't play many games with them, so I can't really stereotype their behavior fairly. This knight needs to, yes, he gets out. Give them credit, they really are trying to push. But RA is clearly in lower numbers here. I say clearly, but that's kind of hard without counting, actually. Nothing going on. I'm sick of shoutcasting these boring games. Keep an eye on the mini-map. Romek doing a very good job microing here. Very good. He's killed about 5 bowmen and lost none. And again, Matt, see what I mean? Just don't give up lost opportunities against Matt. And here, nothing's going on down here. Romek trying to outsmart defender here, it looks like. A little bit of a risky move, pushing his bowman ahead 2 squares. Sorry, I'm not even having any speed increased here right now. Bludmaster, that's not a good location to try to push your archers. Being pressed up against anything, a wall, a swamp, any unwalkable terrain, a building even. It's not good to push forward and back with your archers, as if they pile on top of each other, they'll just get each other killed as they can't move out of the way of fire. And nothing happening, just people piling up. Nothing interesting going on at all, really. Whoa. See some bad microing going on over here. But that's it, really. Good micro and bad micro. That's all we're seeing in this game. Boring, boring game so far. Bludmaster really being pushed back here. But no one can attack here, really. Whoever attacks here will probably lose. But, David here, doing what we can to push ahead. His iron, you can see, has caught up at this point. His base is doing very well. Very nice indeed. He has 2 wins now. Only 1 butcher. Needs another butcher for sure, probably. Yes, he has his 2nd butcher. We see almost a conflict here. I think that would have been our first melee encounter, besides scouting perhaps, this game. These knights are gonna die in a moment here. Should have kept shooting that. But you're just losing. Almost 20 minutes in the game, and no one has fought yet, but we see people are going to get hungry and people are going to get desperate. A lot of people say they'll rather lose a game than win a game where, or rather lose a game in a good fight rather than win a game where everyone's initial army is starved to death. I can count myself as one of them. So oftentimes you'll see someone fight than rather see their soldier starve to death. And here is where it happens. This is a very good spot to attack, actually, if they can push this back. See, this narrow, whenever you can attack from a wide spot to a narrow spot, it's good because you can fit more ranged in than your opponent can. That's not quite true in this case because Destah so wisely took this position instead of pushing back. A very tricky spot to fight. See, Destah's pushing now, where you see all these ranged are waiting for him. Destah can't win here. It's suicide to attack when your enemies ranged are in good position. Even these knights here really are just not going to stand a chance. Down here, zoom out a bit. Many maneuvers going on here. We see some knights trying to flank in here, and we see some of Romek's knights flanking over here. But clearly, with all the range left, Team Romek seems to be doing much better here. Though these melee here may prove to just changed its size this battle. No melee left for Team Romek though. There are some of Bloody Boy's men. Blood just can't do anything here, and David can't really do anything without being flanked. So those soldiers over there, wow, they're just there for the sake of a threat, really. And Destah looks like he's had enough. Chooses to retreat. Nope, don't know what happened there. Initial fight, definitely won by Team Romek. Now Romek can easily stream soldiers in from his, or Matt can easily send soldiers in to location 8. Pushing ahead very aggressively, even without any quality melee. Many militia, many ranged, but Destah might be able to win this battle if he's careful, but better for him to stay out, as these soldiers will starve to death soon. Destah having some knights that could do something useful, but I guess, okay, there they are. They're still there, hanging out. And here we are, Blood over here finally attacking. I'm not sure what it was that caused it to happen, but I saw some men moving around on the minimap. Blood's gonna lose this battle. He has many knights here. No, he comes in with a win, it seems. I'm not sure where it happened, where the tides turned, but David making very bad maneuvers. Should have split these swordsmen up. You don't need your whole group of swordsmen chasing down ranged. Romek just fled here. But back over here, even if you're not killing ranged, if you're just chasing them to get them to stop shooting, you're doing good because you're saving your men from being shot at. You don't necessarily need to kill ranged to win a fight. If you can get a horse to just chase them away, then you're doing good. And I think David probably should have done that since he didn't have the numbers to win midway through that fight anyway. He chose to try to pursue those ranged, and he ended up just getting caught and slain. Matt being very aggressive like he always is. I don't care if I'm charging your base with just ranged. I don't care if you have knights and bowmen and lances and tons of soldiers just wait and ambush me. I'm going in, and you're not going to see it coming. I'm going to kill you. Is exactly what he's thinking, and it's exactly what he is doing. Looks like Nachtmahr here is deleting empty coal mines, but also to create some room for his ranged. Here we are attacking from a narrow to wide spot. RA does have a better position here. They should be able to win if... oh, nah, just huge superior numbers from Team Romek. Looks like it's GG for RA. Nachtmahr does come in with some reinforcements. Just not enough range for the narrow to wide position to really be effective, though. Romek's Knights cleaning house. We just saw all of Romek's militia just stabbed to death here. I believe that's what it was. I saw a big clump of soldiers disappear on the minimap. And it looks like Team Romek is held back. These towers, Nachtmahr so wisely blocked off. Better to block your towers, access to stone, than rather just send recruits, or Circe rather, to send stones in and be slain. A lot of players will, instead of pushing into someone's base, they will instead just camp at the entrance, especially if it's a good position to fight in. Here is not the case, but because again of that narrow the wide what we talked about earlier. But if you can just hang out in their base with your ranged, you can just kill off their people, and that's really just as good as destroying their barracks. Destah really needs to keep soldiers here. The flaw in the making of this map, it was not initially intended to be left versus right. It's supposed to be top versus bottom, but players like the left versus right style more. I count myself as one of them. The map is a lot more open, but the thing is, the location here can much more easily attack this location than, say, Nachtmahr's location can attack Bloody Boy. This is much harder to travel through, this deadly wasteland looking area. Is much more hard to travel through than this nice green swamp. See, Bludmaster can attack and defend himself at this line. Destah cannot easily as do that. He can't, well, pardon me. Bludmaster can defend this line here and his base at the same time. Destah just can't defend it and attack quite as easily as Bludmaster can. I'm rambling on about stuff I'm not even sure about, and here we are missing action. Militia from another loc. Silly. Looks like Team Romek's being held back. They're staying at the entrance. Like I said earlier, these towers aren't even blocked, so these serfs carrying stones are just going to get slaughtered. But looks like Romek's team is going to have to fight another day here. It looks almost like it, but they continue to press. They're not leaving. Nachtmahr's tower, it looks like it ended up being a good choice. It's might even do some damage. It's got a rock in it. And here we are, storm attack. A good way to get your soldiers killed. But here, it actually was a very good time to use it. The storm attack ended up just surrounding Haku's troops. And RA has finally defended their homeland. Just checking to see if Matt had some knights or militia he could send in to eliminate Destah. But Destah doesn't seem to need to be worried about that. Speed things up. Sieges are boring. And here we are. I think we're going to see it. Maybe not, actually. Thought we were going to see an assault on Destah's base with Romek's Knights and Matt's Axe Fighters. Really, it could be done. Defender and David can't defend. See what I did there? Defend Destah without being attacked by Haku, Blood, and Romek here. But looks like Matt and Romek's Knights choose a different route, and they're just going to push in again, attack RA. Haku with some nice melee over here. Look like he's just keeping these range from contributing in the fight over here. Destah coming down here. He really needs to keep his soldiers away from this area to defend himself if the need arises. So he can't get into the fight just fast enough. Bloody boy with some nice knights coming here. Very nice knights. And this is GG. Good job by RA. But the game is clearly lost with Bludmaster's knights here. And again, a push. RA cannot come back from this. Unless. Here we are. Destah is going to get himself annihilated here, actually. Just can't do anything with these range all over the place. Reinforcements coming in, but all at bad times. If they would have sent them all in at the same time, been more effective. Really just unable to do anything about this invasion. Defender is out of the game. Nachtmahr's base is being invaded. I did not see Blood down here. He's been attacking. I thought I saw a lack of black troops in the north. Well, that's what happens when you use times 10 speed rather to get the Shoutcast over with. And there we are. Game is over. Hope you enjoyed it. You see stats, soldiers equipped from the Leatherlock, not uncommon. Although the power locks do have right to be the best. Bludmaster doing a better job with his location. 4 is much better than 8 in the long game, as 4 can never run out of room. 8 is very limited in space, something that needs to be fixed in my opinion. Whether that's by removing some space from 4 or better, in my opinion, adding some space to 8. But Romek, very nice. Most soldiers equipped and most soldiers defeated. Stat to be very, very proud of. almost 100, well, about a 150, 170% kill death ratio. So Romek here, player of the game, very good job by him, even with the leather look, losing or killing many more than he loses. Matt here with the lowest amount of men slain, but defeated not many more. But again, Matt did assaults many times. I saw many of his ranged being had rocks thrown on them from assaulting towers, so this should be much lower. So Matt, very good job fighting this game. Probably the best fighter. Possibly the best fighter. There was lots of fighting going on. Let me see here, David with the monster economy, which is unusual. He must have made a lot of bread. We'll check that in a moment. Normally you see these corner locations making the largest economy. Weapons produced goes to blood, very common. He's normally making the most. Although David here with 118 buildings constructed, I can see why. We'll look at that right now, though. Bread, bread is, see, not even, quite a bit of bread from David also. People making lots of bread normally have the most wares produced, as bread really helps push that stat. Since you are producing lots of bread at a large, faster rate than if you were making, say, sausage or horses, of course. And speaking of horses, everyone's favorite stat. This looks very much like illegal horses, does it not? I'm sure we saw quite a bit of scout or horses being bought at the market from Romek here. Normally you're not seeing it go up like this. This is looks more like legal horses here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.